Good morning. It's Saturday, about 11 o'clock. Just remembering about a decade ago, wondering how nice it would be to be able to be in a brand new car, listening to worship music from a decent sound system, just getting lost in His presence, not worrying about money, not worrying about how to feed my family, not worrying about how I'm going to pay the bills, but just being lost in His presence. And maybe having some of those things I mentioned was a nice bonus, but not having to worry about them was the starting point. You know, Paul said to be content with all things, whether you have not, your status is where everyone else is at, or maybe you're at the bottom, maybe think you're at the top, but you're really not. There's a lot of places in my life where I wasn't content, and now that I've experienced a new car, nice job, 6 figures. I remember thinking back how my life would be if I made 6 figures, what I would do, how I would change the world, how I would invest, how would I take care of my family and not have to worry. And there's a lot of things that you think you can do when you're making half or less than half of what you're dreaming about. And I remember making not much more than minimum wage as a car porter, and dreaming about becoming a service advisor. And I had friends at the BMW dealer, Rich and Dave, brothers in the Lord, that were making 6 figures, and I thought, wow, that would be so nice to live in a nice home and drive a new car and provide for my family without, working 2 jobs or borrowing money or struggling every day, not being able to pay the utilities and having the utilities shut off and making arrangements, getting them turned back on. I mean, we've all been there. Well, maybe some of us haven't, not all of us were born with a silver spoon, but I feel like I was. And my silver spoon is Jesus. And it's not the prosperity gospel. It's not name it and claim it. It's not any of those things to the extreme, but it is all of those things in moderation or in the proper balance. Because we will have what we say, what we believe. The Bible does say that your thoughts, that you have to your as a man thinketh, so he is. So where your thoughts are, what you believe you are, will ultimately become where you become. It sounds pretty stupid, but it's true. So where you believe, where you see yourself, is where you become. And I had a hard time seeing myself making 6 figures. And I remember being told in a book I read, it's called God's Plans for Your Finances, Wealth, Riches, and Money, that there's a lot of principles you need to follow. One of them is tithing. One of them is planning a budget and drawing your income circles and your expenses circles, your needs and your wants. And the other thing I realized when I was reading that book was I need to be able to visualize myself making 6 figures. As soon as I can see myself doing that, then I'll be able to experience it in reality. And now, looking back, that was almost 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, when I was trying to visualize that, and now I can't see myself not making 6 figures. I mean, unfortunately, my debt load and expenses and payments and bills, all those things, pretty much require that amount of income, which a lot of us can't imagine that. Neither could I. But now I see twice that. I see triple that. And in maybe 4 years or 2 years or 10 years, whatever it takes, I'm going to experience that unless the end comes and I'll be in heaven and won't need any resources. But yeah, back to where I started. Making almost minimum wage. I'm dreaming of making it more than just driving cars around for a living and washing cars, and it was a long road, but here we are about 10 years later, and I look back and I said, you know what? I can do this. I don't have to wash cars or be like a slave, and I can have my own sort of business or ability to create wealth. And it's not just trading time for dollars, but really having an asset. And I know, a lot of people say that having a skill in sales is better than a college education or a college degree. Well, it depends, but usually that's the case. I believe that most people that are above the average income level are because of sales. They're in the proper field of sales, and I'll talk more about that later. I've got to go into this place. I'll pick up where we left off. Talk to you soon.